There is a good amount of people who swear by luxury products, luxury bags, etc., etc. Nothing wrong with that. But I just gotta ask, what do y'all think about Dior allegedly marking up a single handbag 4,800%? And is it even worth it? A Milan court placed Dior under judicial administration for a year after finding their subcontractors exploiting workers, forcing them to sleep in factories and work around the clock. These workers, many of whom were illegal immigrants, faced terrible conditions. Dior isn't criminally at fault, but was found negligent for not checking working conditions. This scandal questions the integrity of the entire luxury industry. I'm excited for this one. I'm ready to hear what the people have to say online.
Luxury brands are a scam and they prey on poor-minded people. And let me tell you why I have this opinion. So these brands make you believe that you're getting the highest quality material. They're being made in Italy when they really are made in the same factories where Shein and all of these cheaper products are manufacturing their bags. And now, why do I say that they target poor-minded people? Is because these brands create the illusion of wealth. They get these influencers and these celebrities to promote their products, which a lot of the times they don't even pay for it themselves. Meanwhile, you will not catch a billionaire with any of these brands.
I don't know. Okay, I was with her allegedly. I can get jiggy with most of what she said, but not catching a billionaire with these brands, I don't know. I don't personally know any billionaires, and so I wouldn't know if I would catch a billionaire with this sort of brands, because I hear a lot of people that have money, they like to get the exclusive stuff. So I'm like, why wouldn't they go get a Dior bag? I don't know. It just wouldn't seem like that much money if I had $1 billion.
Because these brands are not for them. These brands are to take the money away from the poor.
I definitely agree with this last take, because I think a lot of people have the idea that just because you look rich, you just somehow are in close proximity to wealth, and that's not giving what it's supposed to give. If you have all your other affairs in order, your 401k, your brokerage account, your emergency fund, and you're set up for the future, what do I care if you're wearing a Dior bag or any luxury bag? But if you're out here going bankrupt, running up your credit card, buy now, pay later for bags or whatever the case may be, that's the type of stuff that's going to keep people poor. Or if you're spending your rent money on bags and like your priorities are all the way off, like we all know somebody. We all know somebody whose priorities is all the way off, and they be out buying some of the most luxurious stuff, and you just be sitting there looking like, now, why would you do that? These are the things that take money away from people who really don't have it to spend like that. The unnecessary things. It's not food. It's not your shelter. It's not something you need to survive. It's stuff like this. So I agree.
So here are my thoughts on the whole Dior scandal as a bag maker. So if you don't know, Italian prosecutors have exposed Dior for paying as little as $57 for a bag to be made and then turning around and selling it for $2,780.
Allegedly.
Now, I'm not surprised because it ain't just Dior. It's majority of the. You know what? We ain't gonna crack that. We ain't gonna crack that tea today. I have been talking about this for so long because as a small bag maker, you get so many comments of people bashing you about your prices and saying, oh, you're not a big name brand. Who do you think you are? Why you put your name on your stuff? Why are you selling your stuff for over $200? And I'm like, these companies that you look up to, these big name brands, they are using Chinese workers in these factories with horrible working conditions. They work 24 hours sometimes, working through holidays. It's also exposed that Dior is paying as little as $2 to $3 an hour to these workers. $2 to $3 an hour to make these bags that they are turning around and selling for thousands of dollars. Now, if you don't know, let me just break it down for you. Materials for bags do not make up the price of a bag. If you ever hear a brand saying, oh, it's because of the materials, they're lying in your face. It's all marketing. It's not. Materials do not cost that much, even good quality materials. For me personally, the most it'll be for materials on a bag like $70, $80 on the higher end. Typically, it's like 40, 50, 60, Now, what makes up the whole price of the bag is the time and labor that goes into making it. But when these companies get away with paying $2 to $3 an hour for the labor, it's exploitation at its finest. And it is so insane because, you know, when you, as a small bag maker, get all these comments like, I'm literally paying myself a livable wage and my stuff is still not being sold at the price as a high-end brand. And they're selling their stuff beyond what it should be sold. Nobody bats an eye because it's so-and-so. And again, it's not just Dior. It's literally most of these brands. Fashion in general is an I hope I'm saying this right. Exploitative.
We know.
I'm sorry.
We got you.
It's one of those industries where it's like, the higher you go, the more exploitive. I'm saying it wrong, but the higher you go, you already know what I'm trying to say. And it's crazy. I've been telling people these companies are a bunch of bull. Like, come on now. And it's crazy because they use all this marketing and PR, like, oh, we use Italian ateliers, da 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 da. No, you do not.
Ooh.
Cause they just say that because they can use that as a marketing means to justify the price that they're paying $2 to $3 for a bag for, that they're upcharging for $1,000 to sell, and people don't bat an eye because, oh, it was made in the Italian atelier. Little do they know it was made by Chinese workers who are undocumented working in these factories getting paid $2 an hour.
First off, I love his point of view because who else better to hear this from than somebody that's a small business that's in the bag making industry. I mean, he's straight up telling y'all it's very cheap to make the bags. So the fact that it's being marked up the way it is, I understand marking it up so you can make a profit. And who am I to say what that number should be? But I definitely don't think it should be anywhere near 5,000% markup. They said these bags was going for 48 times the price that it took to produce it. Now that's a little much to me. It's a little greedy. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little greedy. But he was saying he's charging like 200 and people are coming at him like, oh, who do you think you are? And that's what I think a lot of people do to small business owners. And I hate that for them. I personally feel like if the quality is there, you do a good job, you might not have like a big name, and that's perfectly fine. I do understand some people want all the stuff with the logos on it. I just think it looks cheesy personally. That's just my personal opinion, and y'all ain't gonna take it away from me. Sometimes less is more. All of these logos, that they be overdoing it, but I'm with him 1,000%. And sometimes they don't even get a chance by the general public because they're not a name brand.
My thing is, why are people shocked? This isn't news. I'm pretty sure all luxury brands mark up their products and make huge profits. Did you really think it cost Dior, Louis Vuitton, Gucci $2,000 to produce a $3,000 bag? Aside from the fact that these luxury companies like Dior and Armani are making so much profit from the sale of one bag, it's also alleged that they hire subcontractors that employ Chinese foreign workers who live in Italy illegally and pay them as little as $2 an hour. It was also discovered that these workers often sleep in the workshops and are made to work insane hours without any breaks. It was also reported that in order to speed up the production process, a lot of their safety devices on their machines were removed.
This is something I think a lot of times we as consumers probably don't think about, like what condition did these products come from? But I want to ask the question, if you're into like Dior and their company, is this something that would prevent you from getting the bags? I don't know. I don't buy Dior. I'm broke. But for the people that do,
I decided to go on their website and check out their bags, and you actually can't find a bag less than $2,000, with their most expensive bag being $13K. When you put this into perspective, you can't tell me they're spending much more making this almost $13,000 bag compared to their $3,000 bags.
I'll say it right now. Ain't nothing going on my shoulder that's worth a damn car. Like, why? Why do I need a $13,000 bag? And I did a poll on my channel on, are designer purses a good investment? 20% said it depends on the brand and the condition. I couldn't disagree with this more, because people are buying designer purses with the intention of it belonging on their shoulder. I don't see how this is an investment. You're going to wear it down. It's going to be raggedy by the time you decide to sell it. But people doing this as a business, wouldn't it just be bought and put away somewhere? Protected? I don't know. But most people aren't buying the bags for these reasons. They're buying the bags for themselves. So all of this, like, it can be an investment stuff. Y'all aren't really trying to invest. You just want to say that for girl math. Like, all the people who love girl math be saying stuff like, oh, it's an investment if it goes up in value. Y'all are not selling these bags. Y'all don't even know how to sell stuff online. And then y'all talking about you want to get online and resell it. Like, all some people really know how to do is buy stuff. So you're going to tell me now you're going to turn into a hustler. You about to all of a sudden know how to sell bags and flip bags and all this, that. Like, I ain't going for it. It don't make sense. But I'm going to let y'all say what y'all say because it's girl math. If their most expensive bag on the site is $13K, is it justified after the information that has allegedly come out about Dior? Is it worth it for any of these luxury brands? And then we have to question, why would it be worth it now? In my opinion, this is a clear markup just due to the name. I can't tell a business what to charge for quote unquote luxury. How do we even define what luxury is? Does luxury mean just spending more money on bags and then it's luxury because everyone is familiar with the Dior logo? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions.
Put this into perspective, you can't tell me they're spending much more making this almost $13,000 bag compared to their $3,000 bags. So can you imagine the thousands of dollars in profit they're making on just one bag?
Investigators found evidence that workers were sleeping inside the facilities so that bags could be produced around the clock. They say around the clock, it means during nighttime and during holidays, and that most of the workers were from China. So essentially, your Dior bag that costs $2,800 was not made with amazing hand craftsmanship, made in the atelier on the Champs-Elysees. No, it was made in the same way they make stuff in Shein and China. And you want to know what the kicker is? That same bag that costs $2,800 only costs Dior $57. Just another reason to boycott LVMH and to stop worshiping these big luxury brands.
I love her statement, but why are y'all worshiping anything that's on the earth in the first place? That's another conversation, but a bag, Dior, like, no, stop putting things and people on pedestals. Stop putting businesses on this high pedestal like, oh my God, they're so great. They really care about us. There's quality luxury. Like, stop doing that and then you won't be disappointed. These are human beings running a business and human beings are flawed. Humans can be greedy. Humans can exploit other people for gain. Like, hello, like, what world are some of y'all living in?
Because at the end of the day, we're all getting scammed.
I don't care how much money I don't have. I would never shop from DHK or Alibaba. Like, I do not want a shoe or a bag that bad to go get it fake. Like, no, ma'am.
Okay, for some of y'all that don't know what she's talking about, DHgate is allegedly the fake bags, the replicas, however you want to call it. Allegedly. She said she ain't shopping on there. She not shopping on Alibaba. Now, Alibaba is actually in China. But Dior then came over here, got some Chinese workers, allegedly, put them in a sweatshop, allegedly, had them working for $2 an hour, allegedly. And some of y'all think y'all too good for Alibaba and DHgate. I don't get it. It's almost like they got the people in the region. They just brought them from the actual region and put them in a sweatshop. I'm not saying it's right, but that's from the same region. And if it would be bought from a luxury brand and they're getting the people from these locations, what's the difference? I don't get it.
I remember my sister, she bought me some shoes from DHgate, and child, when I say them things was flip-floppity around, it felt like I was walking on a pavement. I would never shop from DHgate. When you buy a luxury bag or a luxury shoe, it's about the overall experience. You going inside the store, you getting treated well. You know, they need their little commission, so they're going to treat you well.
Nah. I disagree 1,000% with everything she just said, because y'all telling me if it's upcharged $13K, you're paying for the experience? Like, what are y'all going to do? Are you going to rub my feet when I come in? Are you going to interlock my microlocks? Because I don't like doing that sometimes. Like, that'd be stressful. Are you going to cook me meals for 5 months and I don't have to worry about doing the dishes? You going to be my private chef? Are you going to come clean my house? Are you going to pay my bills? Like, what are you doing? Are you going to be my chauffeur, drive me around, make my life so convenient? Because for $17,000, for even $3,000 for a bag, that's what I expect. And I know that's not what's going on. When y'all are going to go get these bags, y'all got people in there gassing y'all up. Like the last video I did, the girl behind the counter was telling the girl it was a good investment, knowing that she helping this lady lose money. And personally, there ain't no words that you can say to make me feel good after I leave about this sort of purchase. To each their own, though. This woman made the video before the Dior scandal, to be fair, but saying you paying for the experience for $13K, even for $3K, what? I don't want to pay for the experience. I want to pay for the product, and the product ain't worth what it's selling for, allegedly.
But buying something from DHgate and it is going to take 45 business days to come, I'm never doing that.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is not breaking news. This is designer markup at its finest, and this is a topic that I have been talking about for forever and a day. And I would like to think that it's common knowledge that these handbags are not actually worth the price that they're selling them for. The powers that be here are marketing. Through good marketing, they're able to charge this insane upcharge like they do. It's the marketing that people are buying into, the name, the look, the status symbol that these brands have. Now, I don't want to speak for everybody, but most people are not buying designer bags because the quality is unmatched. I mean, maybe in some very rare situations, people are actually buying for the quality, but quality experts in this field, like Tanner Leatherstein, who know much more than you or I, have proven time and time again that designer brands are actually not the best quality or the top quality for that matter. A perfect example of this is Chanel, who in 2008 made 2 significant changes that affected the quality of their handbags. One being switching from handmade to machine made, as well as switching out the hardware.
What's crazy is even Chanel is catching strays right now in this whole scandal. None of these luxury brands are safe. I just feel like Dior is the one that's under the radar right now, but they're saying there's more, allegedly.
And now, these changes were not only significant in the quality of the handbag, but the cost to make it. However, back in 2008, a small classic flap retailed for around $2,500. The same bag today now goes for over $10,000. Like, make it make sense. Other interesting takeaways from the investigation is they found a lot of these luxury brands were outsourcing from China. An example of this is most Prada nylon bags are coming directly from China and then finished in their Italian hub.
Technically, you could say it was made in a certain region to the people who care where it's made because it feels more fancy saying it came from Italy or something. I don't know. That is a crazy workaround to start it in one country and end the production in another.
Also, in their investigation, they found out workers were in poor conditions and worked holidays. And you want to know how the Italian authorities knew that? They looked at electricity records. Honestly, those investigative skills, the Italian authorities sound like a group of girls stalking your ex. I'm here for it.
Looking at electricity records is next level investigation skills. And we know the people running the company wasn't up working and making these purses at these hours, allegedly.
Y'all hear me out. I think this Dior scandal can only be good for consumers because LVMH is not going to let Dior tank, okay? They're either going to start bringing those prices down or they're going to go back to the drawing board, rebrand, start to hand make those bags and prove to the consumers, yes, we are hand making these bags and it's worth every dollar that you would have to spend for this bag.
Knowing how much it costs for the material, it doesn't make sense that the bags would ever be worth that much. It's only worth the price it is because people have accepted the price at what it is and have associated these bags with luxury, with wealth. And if you have one of these bags, you now have a status symbol. But that doesn't mean that it's worth the material or the hand craftsmanship that you get from this bag, in my opinion. And another thing is that would take a lot of time to do. Time is money. So if they had these people working around the clock, what makes you think that they're about to go and hand make the bag? Credibility in a business goes a long way. If the customers have to question what is going on, how it's produced, would they go back to any tactics that allegedly happened? We may see a pullback in the price, but since the scandal happened and it's been about a week, the prices of the bags are exactly the same. And even if it does happen, are y'all about to go rush out because it's on a discount? Because that's how they get you again, saying something's on sale or it's a discount so you can feel good about it. Y'all know the worth, allegedly, of these bags. So who is deciding the price here?
What I want to say is you don't need any luxury. Luxury is a state of mind. You can wear things and be dressed up in 20 euro suit and still be cool and worthy and beautiful and a woman who knows her worth. Forget about branding. Forget about branding. Brand yourself in here and you will look like $1 million no matter the price tag.
I love what she said here because I so want people to understand these luxury items do not define you. You don't need any of these things to signify that you are successful, that you're a good person, that you're great at whatever it is you do. You don't have to feel pressure to go out and get any luxury items. I don't want anybody to feel pressure to go get luxury items because they've reached any milestones in their lives and now all of a sudden now I need luxury Dior purses. Like, I just don't think that has to be a thing. If that's your thing, because we all got things we like and you're set up for everything else, I see nothing wrong with it. But if that's not something you really want to do, don't start doing weird stuff just because now you have these different standards of what you should be because of what other people say what wealth looks like or what success looks like. If that's not what it is to you, then don't do it. Do you? And after a lot of people get items, they end up losing the joy they originally had from the item, no matter how expensive it is. Even the bags. And then these bags just sit and then they don't feel good until they go get another bag. And then they temporarily feel good about the bag they just got. And then they go get another bag. And it's just a continuous cycle of things. We don't have to do this. When you just can't stop and you just have to keep going back to get these temporary boosts, again, maybe we're missing something deeper here. And I hope that people find what it is they're really looking for. Will some of y'all now be buying from DHgate? Because a lot of y'all was saying that they wasn't good enough. What about now? I'm gonna ask the hard question. If it's fake, who's really gonna check you about it? Is it gonna be the old woman at the grocery store? You came in there to go get your avocado toast. You think she's really looking at your bag like, That's a fake right there. You think she's really gonna say anything? You think people are really walking around with this bag radar scanning who has a fake and who doesn't? This ain't something that grown people should even care about. I don't care if the next person got a fake. I personally don't see nothing wrong with somebody wearing a fake bag. I just feel like you might be thrifty. You might not want to pay these prices, and I don't blame you. Maybe you just wanted the look, and that's fine. Maybe you like the design, but you don't want to pay that price. What is justifying the price of these bags? Besides the name, besides some of y'all saying, oh, I can go in there and they gonna treat me good. I'm sorry, but there needs to be more. And just ring me up. Make sure I got my receipt in the bag. Put my receipt in the bag where I can see it. Extra points if you email it to me too, because I'll be losing them receipts. Now we have to question what really defines luxury. Does that just mean expensive? Because that's what it seems like if we're trying to justify the prices after knowing what we know. I'm not saying that there wasn't at one point a good reason, but I'm saying currently there may not be a good reason. Perhaps the bags were handmade by some fancy bag makers back in the day that actually perfected their craft, grew their brand, and then it was considered luxury. To me now, it just seems like the name is what's carrying the brand. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying quality is not matching up perhaps to what it originally was. And if luxury does not mean expensive, is a Dior bag even luxury anymore? Who am I to say? Y'all can form your own opinion, but I'm not paying for these bags in the first place. I don't got money like that. I'm not rich, and even if I was rich, I wouldn't do it. That's just me though. But I want everybody to do what is in their price range, whether your pleasure is bags, cars, trips, etc. It doesn't matter to me. Make sure you have yourself set up for the future, 401k, emergency fund, brokerage account, etc., etc. Because we have to start making better decisions now in order to have a better future.